So what do you do, Brian?
He paints.
Set these on fire. That's when it's fun.
What's that?
Snacks.
It's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I wanted to show you a couple of tricks that I use. I don't know if they're a good idea or a bad idea, I just know they work for me. And again, I'm not, by no means do I feel like I'm an expert at how to paint miniatures or painting in general. This is just stuff that I've used that seem to work great for me. The first one deals with these paints. So let's move that brush. We'll use that brush in a second. So paints, especially Citadel paints, I've found get really, over time, they have a tendency to, and I'm sure everybody's encountered this, right? Let me scoot in there. Yeah, they get really rubbery, right? Bop, 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 rubbery. And I've got some really bad ones that have become really rubbery, where you can't get any paint off there. And it's really irritating because, as you can see in this one, I've got a lot of paint in there that still would be usable if it wasn't so rubbery. And so not terribly useful. So what I found is to use this stuff called Flow-Aid, which anybody that uses an airbrush would probably go, oh, okay. But I don't know that you want to use it how I use it, but it works. So I use Flow-Aid and I put a couple of drops in the pot, and it really makes a huge difference. I'll put a couple in there, just a little bit, as I spill it all over. But if you put just a little bit in there, and then shake it up, I'll shake these up. Anyway, it becomes really useful. Like this was one of my worst ones. This mithril silver was horrible. It was just a big pot of rubber and totally unuseful. But when I put some of that Flow-Aid in there, it actually became back to the paint that I would normally use. It was actually terribly, I just tried it on a whim before I threw a pot out, and it was great. Saved me a whole pot and quite a bit of money over time, because I have a lot of paint, and for some reason I don't paint fast enough, and a lot of the stuff becomes like rubber. So shake this up a little bit more, see what we end up with. See that? Let me grab a better brush. So now, instead of rubber, it's actually usable paint again. See that? Actual useful paint. And what I've also found is you don't need to add that much more water to it, because that's what Flow-Aid does, is it helps make the paint kind of flow. Duh. That's how kind of the name comes about, right? So anyway, that was one trick that I wanted to show you. The other one is that brush. So let's get some paint on here. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of paint on there. And I'm gonna wipe it off, but I still got paint on here, right? So the other thing I got, and I know there's a lot of people that have talked about this, and this is brush cleaner, the master brush cleaner and preserver. This stuff, I found it off a video a long time ago, and I don't know whose video I found it off of, but man, get some of this. Really, really, you should get some of this. I can't stress that enough. I've been using it for a while, and if you get your brushes, because this one's still pretty dirty. Let me see if I can zoom in there. This brush is still pretty dirty. So I put some water on it, and then I just kind of roll it in here. You can see that the pot kind of turns green. What it's doing is it's pulling that paint out. At least that's what I've found, and it pulls it off into this little roll of goo like that, right? Then you wipe off the goo, and then you just keep doing it. And there's probably more videos out there about this that are going to like the detail about how it works, but man, just as a tip to amateurs like me out there, get this. Really, it makes a huge difference for what I've found, and the difference is just wonderful on my brush. And it says that it'll do preservatives, or preserve your brushes, and preservatives. It's like strawberry. So what I wanted to try, so if we wash it out a couple of times, there's the brush, and I don't know how well you're going to see that, but it is awesome, awesomely clean. It's probably the cleanest that you can get a brush without using like oils or something like that. So we put that one over here. What happens on this brush? Now if you see on the very tip there, like I've destroyed the bristles. I've completely destroyed the brush. I don't even know how I destroyed this brush. It's an old Poly brush, Poly's Golden, that I got in like 1979. But yes, a very long time ago. But a Poly brush, and it is just shattered. You can see the tip there. So I was going to try to test the ability to make a brush come back. So put it in the water, and I'm just going to roll it in here and get it all oobed up. Look at all that. Look at all that. See how much it comes back. So take a look at that. Now that brush has been utterly shattered for years, and it's not bad. It's not great yet. I'm still getting it, kind of rubbing it around in the mixture and drying it off and doing some more, but it's already, I've been doing it for probably, I don't know, 6-7 minutes. It's already coming back to its original form. Just pretty impressive. I mean, this brush, like I said, I've had this brush for an incredibly long time. I think it's probably the first one I used for a while. And I mean, if I spent more time with this, 20 minutes maybe, I can get that all the way back to the original. That would be awesome. And that's amazing. I didn't think it would be that good nor that fast. So just something to check out. You need to buy this brush cleaner and preserver, the Masters. It's pretty awesome. The original BJ, I don't know what that means. It will save you a brush, potentially, and it'll at least keep your heads clean and your brushes really as clean as they can be. And I know there's other people online that have talked about it. They're right. It's awesome. I can't. The best thing I ever got for my brushes. And then try to find some of this stuff. I got this at I think I got my first bottle at Michael's, but I know it's cheaper online at Dick Blick. Dick Blick is stellar. Again, this is heavily used in airbrushes, but I found that it brings back these Citadel paints, at least brings them back from the dead. And so far I've used a couple of pots for months after I brought them back, and they work great. So I don't know, I'm sure other people have tried this, and I'll be curious what they think and what they've found using this in dead pots. So there you go.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Amazing.
Can you dig it?
Hey there, Klingon guy.
I will kill him!
The Force will be with you, always.